Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Cardtrix here, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be performing and teaching a super simple card trick that is guaranteed to get crazy reactions. It just looks too fair, if you ask me. But before we get into it, I know it has been a while. I apologize for that. Been very busy. I am preparing for college currently. Been working a lot as well. Also, again, I'm a big hockey player involved with a lot of that, so I haven't had a lot of time to film and record card trick videos. I've also been working on the music. If you guys see, I post music on this channel occasionally too. If you guys are interested in that, please go support. I'll leave some links to some of my songs in the description box below if you are interested. And please do me a favor, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Cardtrix_8. I post card trick content there all the time. Got some cool performances, some exclusive content you'll never see over here, and some stuff that I will show over there, then teach over here, that type of thing. So make sure you're following me over there so you don't miss out. You could also follow me on my main page too if you want to, crazy_hockey19. That's completely up to you though. Anyways, let's quit talking. Let's take a look at this really awesome card trick. Alright, so right here I have a deck of cards. I'm going to start off by handing the deck over to the spectator and letting them shuffle up the deck as much as they like. It doesn't matter how much these cards are mixed up, alright? So, once the spectator is satisfied, then we are going to begin. So, at this point, the spectator still has control of the deck. They are going to cut the cards anywhere they'd like, complete the cut, take the card that they cut to, and just place it underneath their palm just as so. I'm not going to look at it, they're not going to look at it, no one else around the room is going to look at it. This card is going to be completely sight unseen by absolutely everybody. So the spectator comes forward. Again, I have no control over this as the magician. The spectator comes over, cuts the deck, completes the cut, they take the card they cut to and place it underneath their palm. Obviously, I don't have a spectator here with me, so we're going to use the card box to mimic the spectator's palm, okay? So at this point, I'll take the deck back for the very first time. And I want to explain the concept of soulmates. So if you guys aren't familiar with soulmates, they're basically cards that are the same color and it's reciprocal suit. So what am I talking about? If we were to look at the 8 of hearts, its soulmate would be the 8 of diamonds because it's the other red 8. If we were to look at the 6 of diamonds, its soulmate would be the 6 of hearts because it's the other red 6. If we were to look at the 9 of spades, its soulmate would be the 9 of clubs, the other black 9. So I'm pretty sure you guys get the general idea. It should make enough sense. And we can even do one more example. 10 of diamonds, its soulmate would be the 10 of hearts because it is the other red 10. So you guys get the idea by now. Hopefully, stay with me here. I know it's shouldn't be too confusing, at least I would hope. But now that you understand this concept, I'm going to do exactly what the spectator just did. I'm going to go ahead and cut the deck, and I'm going to hope that I can cut to the soulmate, to the card that you've cut to. And again, no one even knows what this card is at this point in time. So I will go ahead and cut the cards right here. And let's take a look. I cut to the 7 of clubs. Wouldn't it be crazy if that card that they fairly cut to was its soulmate, the 7 of spades? Anyways, guys, that is the trick. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. So now let's get straight into the tutorial. Alright guys, hopefully you stuck around for the tutorial, but before we get into it, I do ask that you stick around until the end of this video because I'm going to provide you guys with a bonus performance. The reason why I'm doing this is my very first take, something didn't go according to plan, and the trick actually ended up looking a little different in the end. It actually looked even more fair if you ask me because I didn't actually have to do anything per se. And I think it's important that I share this with you because even though the trick didn't go as you saw in the original performance, that's how it's supposed to go every time, it's imperative that as magicians we are able to adapt to situations that we don't expect mid-performance. So I think you guys will benefit from taking a look at that clip later on. But anyways, let's just get into the tutorial and how the trick itself is done. So you are going to need a deck of cards. However, this deck is going to be slightly special for this particular trick. You are going to be needing what is known as a marked deck. Now, if you are a beginner and you are unfamiliar with what a marked deck is, basically the backs of the cards all have secret markings on them that allow us magicians to see what the card is without actually having to look at it. So for example, if I cut the cards right here, the marking on this card tells me that this card's the 4 of clubs. And you can already see. I can show you this again. I'll cut the cards right here. The marking tells me that this card is the ace of diamonds. You guys get the idea, okay? So you're going to use these markings to help you pull off this effect. And here is how it's done. The spectator can take this deck and they can shuffle it up as much as they want. It really doesn't matter how much the cards are mixed up, which again, the conditions look completely fair to the spectator. The more they get to shuffle, the better. So once they are satisfied, you're going to instruct them to cut the cards, complete the cut, take the card that they cut to and place it underneath their palm, sight unseen by absolutely everybody. However, you are going to know what that card is by just glimpsing at the marking before they put it underneath their palm. So the spectator comes forward, they're going to cut anywhere and complete the cut. I already know the card they cut to was the Queen of Spades because of the marking, but obviously no one knows that you know this besides you. So they take this card, they place it underneath their palm. Again, for tutorial purposes, we don't have a spectator, we're going to place it right there underneath the card box, okay? So it appears no one knows what that card is, but you secretly now know what this card is because of the marking. Now, you're going to take the deck back, and you're going to start going over what soulmates are, because not everyone knows what a soulmate is, and even if they do know what soulmates are, it just looks like you're explaining it for the purpose of the trick. Meanwhile, you're going to be pulling off some dirty work as you're doing so. So, you're going to be spreading through the cards, explaining what soulmates are, and giving some examples. As you're doing this, you're going to be looking for the soulmate to the card that you glimpsed with the marking. So in this case, I know that's the Queen of Spades. So I'm going to look for the Queen of Clubs as I'm spreading through the deck. Once I find that Queen of Clubs, I'm going to cull it to the top of the deck. So I'm going to spread through nice and slowly. I'll find a random card, it doesn't matter, let's say the 5 of Clubs, and I'll start explaining, okay, the 5 of Clubs soulmate would be the 5 of Spades because it's the other black 5. And now, okay, the Queen of Clubs already came out nice and early this time. So if I see the Queen of Clubs, I would quickly go ahead and just cull it out of the pack. So essentially, if you don't know what a cull is, you are lining up the card above the card so it is square as possible with it. And your fingers down here are going to be pulling the card out of the spread just like this and holding it there. And now I'm going to keep spreading through and giving more examples. So I might say, okay, the King of Clubs soulmate would be the other black king, the King of Clubs. Just make sure you push up so that you don't lose pushing those cards underneath that card, if you understand what I'm saying. So I might spread through a couple more cards and say, okay, the 2 of Clubs soulmate would be the 2 of Spades because it's the other black 2. Just give a couple of examples, and eventually you're just going to square everything up underneath that culled card. So now you can see the soulmates to the Queen of Spades, the Queen of Clubs is right there on top of the deck. And again, just make sure that, speaking of adaptation, you can adapt depending on where the card is. Because you don't know. The card that you're looking for might be right near the top of the deck. It could be smack in the middle, or it could be toward the end, which in the original performance, it was a little toward the end. So I was giving examples before I really culled, where for this tutorial purpose, I had to kind of give one example, cull it, and then give more examples. So you guys get the idea. Just give examples and cull at the right time, and you will be okay. So, now, the card's there, and then you've called the soulmate to the top. No one knows at this point. All you need to do from here is any false cut that you'd like, and then just show the card you cut to is that top card, the Queen of Clubs. This is really up to you. This is what I cannot speak. It's very subjective. You can use really any false cut that you would like. The easiest one that I would know looks a little something like this. Just give the cards a cut. That's the Queen of Clubs right there. You can do one of these if you want to. I think this is a very beginner false cut. Everyone knows how to do that. Really, anything works that you'd like to. The cut that I used in the performance, I think, is the most convincing false cut. It is called the classic pass false cut. So essentially, all I did was I did a classic pass, but rather than complete the pass, I took this packet, set it down, and then set this packet right back on top, and then there is the card. It's a little difficult, especially if you're not familiar with the classic pass itself, but I would highly recommend learning the classic pass false cut. It's beautiful. Even from this angle, I think if I do it quick enough, it might actually look legit. I'm not sure. I'll have to review that on film later, but regardless, it doesn't matter. Your spectator's in front of you. So I do the classic pass false cut. Again, you can use any false cut that you'd like. and show the card you cut to is the Queen of Clubs. And now all that's left to happen is the spectator flips over the card underneath their hand, and it will be the perfect soulmate, the Queen of Clubs. Now, usually they say not to do the same trick twice for a spectator, but this one, I would break that rule a little bit. Do it again, because it's soulmates. People might think that's just a coincidence. If you do it a second time, then they're more likely to believe you a little bit more. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys learned something new, something useful that you'll go out and use today. But again, this video is not over. Stay tuned. Check out this bonus clip right now. Okay, so right here I have a deck of cards. Now I'm going to start off by handing the deck over to the spectator and letting them shuffle up the cards as much as he or she would like. It does not matter how much these cards are mixed up. Once they are satisfied, we can then begin. So here's what's going to happen. The spectator is going to take the deck. They're going to cut the cards anywhere they want, complete the cut. They're going to take the card that they cut to, and they're just going to place it underneath their palm, just as so. They're not going to look at it. I'm not going to look at it. No one else around the room is going to look at it. This card is going to be completely sight unseen by absolutely everybody. So again, the spectator now, I have no control over this as the magician. The spectator comes over, cuts the cards, completes the cut, takes the card they cut to, and places it underneath their palm. Now, we don't have a spectator here with me, so we're going to use the card box to mimic the spectator's palm, if that makes sense, okay? So at this point, I would take the deck back for the very first time. Now, I'm going to explain the concept of soulmates, because not everyone knows what a soulmate is in a deck of cards. So what a soulmate would be is, for example, like let's say we had the 3 of diamonds. The soulmate would be the 3 of hearts because it's the other red 3. Same thing if we were to look at the Jack of clubs. We would have the other black jack, the Jack of spades. I'm pretty sure that makes enough sense, right? But you shuffle the deck, you cut the deck anywhere you wanted. And notice how the card we had just sitting here in the bottom was the 8 of hearts. And you could have cut to any card that's been under your palm the entire time. The card you cut to happens to be the perfect soulmate, the 8 of diamonds. So what had happened in that clip was the spectator cut the deck, complete the cut, and the soulmate to the card that they cut to was already on the bottom. So basically we had one card here and one card on the top, one card on the bottom, and they were soulmates. So once I flip the deck over, I see, shit, that's the soulmate to the card that I just peeked at. I can't cut to this. I can't do it. I can't call it. It's already right there on the bottom, and the spectator's staring right at it. So I had to improvise the trick a little bit. Now I had to just explain what soulmates are, but now no sleight of hand in this case. I just put the deck down and said, well, interesting. You cut the cards, and you happen to land right here on the 8 of hearts sitting on the bottom. And the card that you cut to underneath your hand happens to be the soulmate. So if anything, that little botched performance, I adapted to it, and I made it into an even better trick, kind of, because it's almost a hands-off version. But again, that's very unlikely to happen. That's just an example of how you can adapt if, for, you know, per se, the card that they cut to, if the soulmate happened to be right in the bottom, that's what you can kind of do to help yourself out of that situation. The other possible situation is that maybe the card is already on top of the deck. They were right next to each other, so the soulmate to their card is already on top of the deck. In that case, again, you can just skip the call. You don't need to call, you can just go right to the false cut, and then you're good to go. So yeah, just a little tip there. Again, always know how to adapt mid-performance in case things don't go as expected. Again, sometimes you can end up with an even better result like that, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you slap that like button, share the video with your friends, and of course, subscribe to the channel. We're about, I think, like 20 away from 500, so yeah, I'd really, really appreciate it if you subscribed and joined the squad. I hate saying that shit. That shit's cringy as you get the idea. But anyways, again, I will see you guys for the next video. Cardtrix 8 signing off. Peace out.